first thing that happens when Hollywood comes to you and says, can we adapt your book, is they say, are you willing to give up creative control? And I immediately said yes, for a couple reasons. The first one was I did not want to mess this deal up. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for my whole genre. Nobody had gotten a deal like this. There were Hallmark movies and there was Outlander.
Right.
So I wanted this to happen. I wanted it to be a delight to work with. But it's also really easy to take that attitude when you're working with Shondaland. They know what they're doing. I mean, I'm not going to be the person who's going to tell Shonda Rhimes how to make television.
Right, no.
I mean, can I give you some rugby hints?
Please, after this. It's on everything. Welcome back to House of Maher, a Wave original brought to you by Intuit TurboTax. Now this is taxes. Dear reader, help yourself to whatever's in the fridge. The Wi-Fi password is this_seasons_diamond, all caps. You should know that we have a few house rules here.
Girls are magic.
Reading is hot. And so are you. Make sure to check us out on YouTube, like, subscribe, and do all the things.
Mm-hmm.
All the things.
Get crazy with it.
Our fourth Mars sister today is the sister herself, is the mastermind behind the Bridgerton family, a literary universe so powerful it convinced Shonda Rhimes to lead one of the biggest shows in Netflix history. She's in the Romance Writers Hall of Fame, and when she's not creating the characters we're all obsessed with, she's winning game shows, being spoofed on The Simpsons, and reminding men everywhere that they need to level up to meet the standards set in romance novels. Keep working on that. Give a huge welcome to Bridgerton author Julia Quinn.
Woo!
Oh my gosh, a legend.
Thank you
so much for being here.
This is so exciting for me because I am also one of three sisters.
Oh my God.
And where are you in the order?
The middle.
Oh, these two. Are you a classic middle?
Well, I guess it depends on how you define classic middle. What is classic middle?
To me, I think of a middle as like a bit more of a, like the second born is always more rebellious, a bit more beats to their own drum.
I wasn't very rebellious either, but I
No.
do kind of, I guess, rebellious in terms of I did like rugby, nobody else did that, so a little rebellious. But I'm a rule follower.
I am also a rule follower. Like I'm the person who's like, we'll figure out, and I could have been a lawyer, but I will figure out like everything I can do within the rules and like do that. But I'm not the rule breaker.
Did you have a sister that was a rule breaker? This is ours.
Oh, mine was the older one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Olivia, step it up.
Sorry.
Mine
What kind
was
of
the
rules
older
would she break?
Oh, like sneaking out of the house and stuff like that. I mean,
so
it wasn't
cool.
that hard. We lived in like a little like condo, and it's all on the main floor. So like to go out the window is not dangerous like, in the slightest. And one time I remember my mom even said like, when it times for you guys to marry, you should just elope because it'd be a lot cheaper. And I'd be all like, are you going to just like buy us a little step ladder or something?
Right.
I mean, we don't even need a ladder to go up to the
It was
window.
almost too easy.
Yeah, it would be super easy.
Yeah, I was asking to be sneaked out of that house for sure. This is our rule breaker.
I didn't break too many rules, but I didn't follow the status quo as much.
Right.
Of the house.
She
That's
underage
just-
drank, not us.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I talked back.
Yeah.
That was
And you
my
guys
thing.
are also native New Englanders too.
Yes.
Where are you from?
That's right.
I'm a Connecticutical.
We're in Connecticut.
Girl.
Ridgefield. Yes, I know. I've been looking you up. And and I've been trying to make the word Connecticutical happen for so many years.
That freaked me out when you first said that.
Yeah, it was
I
a
have
bit
not,
interesting.
in my time in Connecticut, Quinnipiac.
Yep.
Go Bobcats. I've never heard that.
I made it up and I cannot make it catch on. But I'm going to make it happen eventually. Because the other thing is to call yourself a nutmegger. And I think Connecticutical.
I like Connecticutical better than
Isn't
Nutmegger.
it?
Yeah, nutmegger sounds
Nutmegger.
that something's wrong.
So I think the senators Chris Murphy and I think Rosa DeLauro is she was, I think I voted for her when last time I lived there. And so yes, we need to make Connecticutical happen.
Connecticuticals.
Is it just Connecticut? What is a plural for Connecticut person?
Connecticutian?
I looked it up. It's like nutmegger because
No
it's the nutmeg
way.
state. Yeah.
That doesn't.
No.
Sounds sexual. I don't know.
We have a lot of family that's still there, so I will do my best to. Oh, how are my Connecticuticals doing over
think
there
it's the best.
in North Haven?
Let's start it.
North Haven. I
Oh.
worked at the North Haven Barnes & Noble.
Did you really?
I did.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's where you spent.
I spent a lot of time there.
I mean, I left when you were in your single digits. So I am that old. But I worked at that bookstore. I originally signed on as Christmas help because they need extra people. And then they kept me on because I actually knew about books.
Yeah, right.
You know, when they actually find somebody who reads, they're really excited about that. And they let me work there for the rest of the time my husband was in medical school at only like 8 hours a week, which normally they don't do. And I did the romance section and I did the mystery section, and that was pretty much it.
Oh my God.
And I loved it.
This was like probably Barnes & Noble heyday too, of like cozy, almost like coffee jazz shop kind of vibes. Was it then?
I don't know if I'd say that, but we did have a little coffee stand. And it was Starbucks, but it wasn't a Starbucks. It was like the Barnes & Noble little stand that sold Starbucks. And I was there when they introduced the Frappuccino as a new product.
Oh my God. How exciting.
That
It really
blender
was.
noise.
And all of us are in there going like, did they put crack in this?
Yeah, right.
Like it goes down so easy. And we're just like, make another one. What the heck?
You're
Make-
shelving books like this.
Like, yeah, exactly. And then at one point they lowered our discount on books, but upped it on coffee. And I was like, they just want to keep us caffeinated during the Christmas season.
Just 50 grams of sugar.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Ranking.
Well, let's head to Connecticut soon. Let's all plan a trip.
Connecticut retreat,
We're Alona's going to
please.
alert us. She'll make that happen.
The
Don't worry.
deeply sexual place of Connecticut.
We'll
get
nutmeg. The
over there.
nutmeggers. No, I don't think so.
No, Connecticuticals.
Connecticuticals. Perfect. Well, I think we should go over into the group chat. So this is what's going on with us and online. It's what we're talking about in our group chat, maybe girl news, what's happening in our lives. But what we wanted to talk about today is that we are entering the era of queens in Europe. Have you heard about this?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
So it's basically, for everyone listening that doesn't know, a Gen Z generation of female heirs is preparing to take the thrones, including Belgium, the Netherlands, Norway, Spain, and Sweden. And I guess in those places, there's new laws that allow for the firstborn to inherit regardless of gender.
Not in Spain, though.
Not in Spain?
No,
Tell
in
us.
Spain, it is just lucky that there's.
What do you mean?
If she had a younger brother, then he would have jumped her.
Really?
You would jump her, but she doesn't have.
She doesn't. So she just has a younger sister.
God.
Oh my gosh. And she's the one that's in like military academy or
Yeah.
training school. She seems
Yeah.
like a badass.
She seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
And can I say, like,
Please.
so I was reading about you guys, and I know that you were half Dutch,
Yes.
and you seriously look like one of the Dutch princesses.
We were just talking about that,
that.
in the green room.
Because like all of our Dutch family, whenever they see me, they're like, you look just like Princess Amalia. To which like, maybe I know my face too much, but I'm like, she just seems like a redhead with a rounder face.
I think you look like her younger sister.
Yeah.
Oh, her younger sister.
The middle one.
Okay, I could agree
think
with that a
that's
little bit
Alexia.
more. But I always get
Yeah.
Amalia, and I'm like, I don't see it, guys.
Yeah.
No, I think you look the other one.
Yeah.
I'm honored, actually. Maybe guys, that's where I get the red hair.
Their
Maybe.
mom is a badass.
Yes.
Queen
Really?
Maxima. Yeah.
Queen Maxima.
Oh, yeah.
Married into the family, or she's the head?
She married in.
She married into it.
She's Argentinian
Oh.
and has like a degree in economics and had quite the career before she met and married then Prince Willem Alexander? Yeah, something like that.
Kind of sounds right.
Well,
Yeah.
we can call her.
I know
and ask.
kind of like a ridiculous amount of it.
No, we love it. We figured you'd be the perfect person
yeah,
to chat
yeah.
with about. Wait, we just had a picture of them up. These are the Dutch princesses.
Yes, so the one in the purple is the one I think you look like.
Okay, a sleigh.
I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah.
I gotta start doing my hair like that.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
No,
Which
all of
one
them
of
are
those
stunning.
is the?
Left is Princess Amalia, the crown princess.
Oh, so they're three girls as well.
Yes.
Point yourself out. I'm the middle one, of course.
I'm the crown princess.
Okay,
Yes.
then my twin.
Beautiful.
No, they're stunning.
They
They're
really are.
so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Also, the girls were just telling me, and I think it was a video online about how Queen Charlotte was actually a woman of color in real life.
Well, we think so. So here's what we know. We know that she had African ancestry for sure because her family tree is pretty well established. What we don't know is if she actually presented as biracial. And there's no way we'll know that for sure.
Right.
But what we also know is that if she did present as biracial, that was not something that the English crown was going to play up.
Right.
And so what they did with Bridgerton is they said, okay, let's just say for sure that she looked biracial and that this was accepted by the crown, and how does that change society? So that's how they played with that, which I thought was so cool because it was a way to say, okay, what would happen in one generation? How might society be more diverse and inclusive? And we can just say it's like that without having to go into like explaining everything.
Right.
And then of course they went back and did Queen Charlotte and explained it there.
Yeah. Which then you went and then novelized Queen Charlotte.
I did.
Oh my gosh, what was that like?
That was crazy. So I knew I was going to be doing that for a few months before I actually could get started, because the way we did it, it wasn't like I was holed up in a room with Shonda, although that would have been very exciting. She wrote the scripts, gave me the scripts, and then I turned them into a book. So it was the exact opposite of the normal process.
Yeah, right.
So I said, okay, I'm going to go online and research, how do you do this? And there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. And so I thought, okay, well, people may say I did it badly, but nobody can ever say I did it wrong, because I can't find anything like this except for maybe some Star Wars stuff and like Jaws.
So you literally wrote the book.
I literally wrote the book.
You literally wrote the book.
But it was really fun. It was like a puzzle. You know, like, okay, what am I keeping? What I'm doing?
Yeah.
And then I'd have these great writing days where I'm like, oh my gosh, I wrote 15 pages, which is a lot. And then I realized actually half of those is literally just retyping Shonda's dialogue.
Right.
But, you know, it counts. Like,
It counts.
I'm going so
It's
fast.
in there.
But anything that made you cry was Shonda's fault.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Blame her.
That one's a fan favorite, right? Like Queen Charlotte, the show was a big one.
Well
I
loved.
think so.
Yeah.
A well-loved one.
Very cool. I really enjoyed it.
Definitely a little more serious than Bridgerton overall.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like maybe this isn't the one for the group chat, but I want to know, do you have a favorite book of yours?
No, I get asked that all the
Oh,
time.
sorry.
And no, it's a good question. And it's a logical question, but it's sort of like each book has aspects that are important to me. And it may be things that you'll never know. It may be something that was going on in my life at the time.
Right.
You know, the one I wrote when I was trying to figure out like how to be a mother for the first time and have a newborn. And I'm proud of myself that I actually got a book written, or, you know, or maybe there's a scene or something. And so I really can't pick. But what's interesting is that, you know, some of my books are the fan favorites. And the ones that aren't, I always feel like they're underdogs. And so I'm kind of rooting for them a little bit, being like, this one's special too. You should check this one out.
I love that. Do you have a group chat that you're a part of?
I have several group chats. I have Sister Chat.
Yeah.
I have my family group chat, which is like my nuclear family.
Okay, yeah.
Then I have cousins on my mom's side, cousins on my dad's side.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I've got group chats.
They're active.
They are, yeah.
Do you have a funny name for any of them? We love a good funny name.
Sister Chat is just sister. It's just my sisters with a little.
That's exactly what ours is.
Ours is sisters with
a bunch of
emojis.
emojis.
Yeah.
Oh, ours is like my sisters, but yeah.
Oh, okay. My sisters. That's
Love
cute.
that.
I love that. Oh, well, hell yeah.
Well, let's get into tea time.
Let's get into tea time. We're all
Okay.
ripping and roaring for it.
Okay.
Tea time, the tea's piping hot, and I want to learn everything about you and your writing and whatever the hot literary tea is today. Tea time is brought to you by Intuit TurboTax. Okay, so you have written many successful books. John and I were talking about it last night. One thing that we love about your books is the dialogue you have between women. And like even like Daphne and her mom and the sisters, I think it's something special. Maybe a little, I think we were talking about like maybe some people will criticize for being pretty modern, but I love that. And does that come from, you know, you talking with your sisters, you talking with your mom?
Probably. I mean, you know, I get a lot of questions saying like, you know, why did you choose to do this? And why did you choose to do that? And for the most times, I don't know. But one thing I do remember when I was writing my very first book back in, I started in 1992 when I was finishing college, was that I thought to myself, I want the heroine to have a friend who's female, because, and this is different now, but at that time, you really didn't see female friendships in romance. You know, I think it was a way of isolating the character. And, you know, an isolated character can make for a very interesting character. So, you know, it just seemed like the secondary female character was always either maybe her younger sister she had to take care of because they were starving, or some evil, awful person. And I was like, I just want like a healthy friendship in here. So I gave her a cousin who she was visiting. And since then, it just kind of grew that not in every book, but in a lot of them, you have these female friendships, either between family members or just, you know, someone they know. And I think it really adds to it. I mean, most of my readers are women, and I think it's something that we relate to, or having those conversations. And a lot of times when I'm writing my books, I've found that the scenes I've enjoyed writing the most are not the ones between the hero and the heroine, but between one of the main characters and a side character as a part of their friendship.
And I'd agree. Like, I think I've read your books, watched the show. Like, I'm always so gravitated towards the female characters rather than like still love the love interests. But I'm like, for me, the draw is the female characters, the heroines themselves, because I feel like it's sometimes you don't see them, like they're just so interesting, and he's a man. She is so interesting.
And he was there.
And he was there too. You know, like maybe if you were looking more so like roles reversed, maybe it'd be more interesting. But I was like, this is just, there's so much meat to it, which I think we're missing sometimes.
Thank you. I mean, kind of the goal in writing historical romance, at least for me, especially when you're writing in the Regency, which is kind of tends to be like this glamorous thing. You know, we've got these characters who are certainly not my forebears. I mean, my ancestors at that time were digging potatoes somewhere. Yeah, they were not doing well.
Ours too, probably.
But,
Ours too. Look at our builds, yeah.
Okay. But can you give them emotions and hopes and dreams and psyches that are relatable to a modern woman? Or modern, you know, or even with the male characters too. I was just talking about this about Benedict. I mean, one of the things that really drives Benedict in the books, and I think they carried this over to the show pretty well, is that he feels overlooked. That he, you know, people call him number two. He feels, you know, he's not the heir, and this is in a society where like it's all on the firstborn guy. He's, you know, he's the spare, and he's just like, oh, you're one of the Bridgerton brothers, you're one of this, one of that. And that really kind of feeds into his sense of self, that he is, how does he make himself an individual when he's got this big family? And I think that's something that a lot of people can relate to. You know, you don't need to be, you know, a handsome aristocratic guy in 1815.
You're the second. Do you feel that way?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So overlooked.
Oh, she's so overlooked.
I know.
I need more attention.
How could she get more attention?
So your first Bridgerton didn't come out till like 2000.
Yes.
When did it get picked up?
2017.
2017. And how did that come about? Did you get an email in your inbox like Shonda Rhimes?
I got a phone call from my agent, and I was sitting in Starbucks because, you know.
Drinking a frappe.
Yeah. No, well, it was a hot coffee by then. But sitting in Starbucks, and my agent called. And, you know, usually he emails. So I was like, oh, Steve, what are you? And he said, yeah, I just had the most interesting call. And I was like, oh. And he said, have you heard of Shonda Rhimes? And I said, yes. He said, well, you know, it wasn't her. It was her people. I would say her people called my people. And by people, I have one person. But, and she wanted to know if the Bridgerton series was available for adaptation. And I said, oh my gosh, I can't believe you even thought you needed to call me. Will you call them right back right now? And what happened, I found out later, was that she was traveling, and she's a huge reader, and she always brings books, and she got sick, and she ran out of books, and the Duke and I happened to be at her hotel or inn or wherever she was, and that is how lucky I am.
Oh my God.
I know. She'd never read a romance novel before.
Oh my gosh.
Interesting.
I mean, yeah, she lucked out. That's a good one to pick
She
up
just
for
picked
her
that one
first
up, and she said she went out later and bought all the rest of the books. She's like, I was still feverish. I went out, got all the books. Like, oh my.
Oh, I love it.
And so here's the fun part. Then she starts telling everybody, Shondaland, she called them these crazy romance novels, which I take no offense at. I think it was crazy just because she felt crazy. She'd never read one.
Right.
And she kept telling everybody, you have to read these crazy romance novels. And they're passing it out. And by the time I finally went to Shondaland for the first time, you know, the people there were saying, oh my gosh, the parking attendant was reading them. We had everybody reading them. And this is all happening, and I have no idea.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's all happening in the months before they actually call. And so it's just like, my life is changing. I have no idea until this phone call in January 2017.
Interesting.
And then it took a year and a half before it became public. So you now know I can keep a secret.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trust.
So like, turn this off and tell me
Yeah, do we have
everything.
anything you want to tell her?
Yeah.
Dude, she can
It's
hide
like
a
a
body.
confessional
I'll
right
think
now.
about it. So that's crazy then. So you put the books out at the beginning of the 2000s and just like put it out as for people to read. And then I don't know, were they like extremely popular, or did the show just make it like, was it, oh my God, crazy in the early 2000s when it came out?
When there was no book talk, you know?
I wouldn't say, oh my God, crazy. Because first of all, nothing can be as oh my God, crazy as now.
Yeah, right.
Right.
They did pretty well. I mean, before the show, I was definitely considered one of the best-selling historical romance authors. But The Duke and I, which was the first one, I mean, that did not hit the New York Times list or anything. That was, you know, because they're 8 books long. But I think it was the third one was the first one, the first time I ever hit the New York Times list.
Yeah.
And so it was just growing. I was, you know, it was a respectable, it was not a lead title, but we did see a bump there. We did see that something was picking up, that people really were liking the series, and people were really liking the Lady Whistledown mystery. And they were also a little miffed because the thing about romance novels, as you guys know, is that they end up real neat and tidy in the end, right? You have your happy ending, and that's why we love them.
Lobo.
Which you had in The Duke and I, you know, Daphne and the Duke, and they're all happy and everything. But I didn't say who Lady Whistledown was. And everyone's really like, what?
Yeah, right.
What? And so, my favorite reviews were the ones where people said, I don't even like the book, but I have to get the next one. So
You're like, gotcha. You're like, give me that money.
That's just good
I'm
business.
okay with that.
We were talking about that as well because in the books, it's not until Penelope, when it actually tells you Lady Whistledown. And Ajana was saying, like, she actually would have liked it maybe in the show if we'd waited a little bit because it's at the end of first season.
They went back and forth on what they were going to do. And I would have loved that too, except you could just Google it. Anybody would have just Googled
That's
it.
so true.
Google exists.
Search engines.
God,
yeah.
dang.
And, it's one thing when it's just the book world and people go, when it was just the book world, like if I was doing an event, I never said who Lady Whistledown was, even though a lot of people knew because, you'd have to go out of your way to find out who she is, really. It wasn't something that would just come through on your Instagram feed. So I think they just figured there's no way they could not have it spoiled.
And also, when I watched the first season, I hadn't read any of your books. And the first one I picked up was Penelope's book. I went straight to that one. I was like, well, that's my story. I know it.
Okay.
Because also I was like, redhead. Okay. I see myself in her. That's my
I love
Princess
that.
Amalia.
And now, do you have a personal favorite storyline from your own books that's maybe different from the adaptation? Like certain characters?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, the one thing it's in the show, but it's bigger in the books, is Anthony's fear of dying young. And that's something that I did pull from real life. There was somebody I knew whose father had died quite young, and he was just convinced that he would die, before the age of 45 or whatever. And I thought it was just such a fascinating psychological thing. And I was talking to my aunt, who's a psychologist, and she said, no, it's actually really common among people who, especially if it's the same gender parent that you lost, of just thinking like, I will not be able to live longer than my parent lived when they die young.
Interesting.
And so I just thought, that's like an interesting quirk to give
Absolutely.
the character. Yeah.
And now, does it give them a sense of wanting to live life larger or a more conservative way, kind of more careful in the way that maybe Anthony
I think it
was?
could go either way. I think the person in my life was living life larger, and I think Anthony was the other way around, living more conservative.
It's that time of year again.
What time? Tax season?
Yes. And I don't know about you, but doing taxes the old way is a serious box to tick on the mental load.
I'm always concerned they've missed something or that they weren't done right.
With Intuit TurboTax Full Service, you're matched with a dedicated expert who understands your specific tax situation and can do your taxes for you start to finish.
You can directly import your tax forms right into the app and hand everything over to the expert.
While they work on your taxes, you get real-time updates like quick text messages and progress updates right there in the app.
And they work to get you the most money back, all while giving you time back to do what you actually want to do.
Like going to the gym, which is what I would much rather be doing.
Visit TurboTax.com to get matched with a dedicated expert today.
I have a question in writing.
Okay.
So sometimes I read books like where it's just from the main woman and it's just from her mind. And then I'll read books kind of where it's like one chapter from her mind and then we go to
Dual
another.
POV.
Is that what it's called? Dual POV. With your books, you kind of do like a mix in, almost like you're just a third party in everybody's mind. How do you write like that? Or why do you choose to write like that? I like that because I like to know what he's thinking and what she's thinking.
The dual POV that you're talking about where it's both people in first person, that's pretty new. And by new meaning, like I've been doing this for 30 years. So it's new to me. It's been around for a while. I don't know, maybe in the last 10 years or so. And it's become very, very popular in contemporary romance and things like that. You don't see it in historical that much. When I started writing, almost all books were either first person, which is I think what you're talking about first, where you're in the heroine's mind, the main female character's mind. I mean, I guess it could be the guy too, but generally it's the woman, for romance at least. Or it was third person, which is what I do. Yeah. And the third person can be omniscient narrator or kind of get into the minds. And I don't break the fourth wall or anything. So I go back and forth in them. And the big trick to that is that you need to not do what writers call head hopping, which is when you're going back and forth between the heads of the characters, but you do it in a clunky way.
Right.
So, and it can get confusing where all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, what, who, what?
Yeah.
And so most people will do the character POV switch at like the chapter or a chapter break or something. If you're going to do it like within the text, you have to actually think kind of hard about how you do it.
Interesting.
But I like it because I like to know what everybody's thinking.
I do too. No, yeah. I enjoy that because some books, like when it's just the woman's point of view, especially in romance, you're like, I want to know how jealous he is.
Is he yearning?
Yeah.
What's
I know.
happening?
They always say
Exactly.
you see it in the eyes. I'm like, okay, no. What's in there?
Have you read The Hating Game by Sally Thorne?
I think I did read that one.
I love that book. And I told her once, I said, I would pay good money to get his point of view.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, I don't know. And I was just like, oh,
Come on.
I would easily just buy the book again. I
Right.
paid like hardcover price, it came out in paperback. I would pay a lot. I really want to know what he's thinking.
I mean,
It's
didn't
like Midnight Sun.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
Stephanie Myers went back and wrote from Edward's first brain the whole time. That's Midnight Sun.
We
Yeah.
also just read Mate by Ali Hazelwood, and I like how it's all from her point of view, but like at the beginning of each chapter, there's like 3 sentences from his. And that was just like
Tantalizing.
just a taste.
Yeah, that
Yes.
was nice. I do enjoy that.
She's, by the way, one of the loveliest humans on the planet.
Is she?
I have, yeah. She's super, super nice.
Ugh,
And English is not her first language.
get out of here.
I'm not kidding.
Amazing.
She's Italian.
Whoa.
I know.
I will say, I think some of the best authors don't have English as the first language if they write in English. Like, I grew up like in the time of like Wattpad and like AO3 and everything. And there's always some people be like, sorry, this isn't my first, English is my first language. And they're writing the most beautiful
Beautifully
words.
written.
I know.
And so I'm of the opinion, I'm like, I hope English isn't your first language.
That's hilarious. How involved are you with the show?
Almost not at all.
Really?
Yeah. So the first thing that happens when Hollywood comes to you and says, can we adapt your book, is they say, are you willing to give up creative control? And I immediately said yes for a couple reasons. The first one was I did not want to mess this deal up. I was aware this was a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Right.
Not just for me, but like for my whole genre. Nobody had gotten a deal like this before. There were Hallmark movies and there was Outlander.
Right.
And Outlander, there's a lot of romance in it, but it's not a romance.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I love Outlander.
Yeah.
Love
love
Outlander. But it's not a romance. It's, she was breaking every wall and rule and whatever. And I'm like writing, I'm in the box. I'm in the romance box. So I wanted this to happen. I wanted to be a delight to work with. But it's also really easy to take that attitude when you're working with Shondaland because they know what they're doing. I mean, I'm not going to be the person who's going to tell Shonda Rhimes how to make television.
Right. Right. No.
I mean, can I give you some rugby hints?
Please, after this, tell me anything.
I mean, it's just like the hubris. So no, I'm not going to tell her to make television. And also, it's just as a company, their values align with mine. I think they do such good work. And so I was just saying, you know what? I'm going to let you work your magic.
Yeah.
One thing that she did that was like, I'm assuming so different than the time period was the diversity in the cast. And what happened when you heard that? You're just like, okay, cool, let's go.
Yeah, pretty much. But I knew from the outset that they were going to do something to make it more diverse and inclusive. I mean, in the books, I don't say what race anybody is, but it's implied they're all white.
Yeah.
And I knew she wasn't going to do that because that's not how she does her shows. But I had no idea how she was going to make it happen. And I thought either they were going to go with true colorblind casting, which is, that would be like if you had the Bridgerton family and they did not look like they could even be genetically related, which is not what they did. They do what's called color conscious casting because they put a lot of thought into how they cast characters. Or I thought they would change up the plots to make it, to bring in more elements of kind of the traumatic parts of history around racism and colonialism and stuff like that. And instead they found like this totally different way, which we talked about earlier, which was just to change the nature of society based on Queen Charlotte, which I thought was brilliant. It was amazing.
What was the one change that she made that you were almost jealous of that you didn't think of?
Oh, that's easy. That is the addition of Queen Charlotte.
Yeah.
I mean, because she's so amazing. And the thing about romance novels is that when you have a series, it's more of a collection of spin-offs rather than sequels. Right. And so Queen Charlotte, I think, really acts as like the scaffolding that connects all the seasons. And so, yeah. And plus, she's written so well. And Golda Rosheuvel is like a tour de force. And she is also absolutely as cool as you'd think she would.
I believe it.
Yeah. She's incredible.
I so believe it. Do you think there's something that romance novels are able to do or accomplish that like a TV show can't? An adaptation can't?
Oh, that's a good question. I think you just get in the head more. You just can't get into the deeper thoughts in the way that you can in a book.
Question again about writing.
Okay.
When you write your like female characters, did you write like Daphne or anybody in your image or anything like that? Or what do you, because I guess people try to make it so that this character women can easily put themselves in. Is that something you're conscious of? Do you try to see yourself in your characters?
I don't think I'm conscious of it. There've been a few times where I have actively pulled from my own experiences, but not necessarily with each character. And the best example would be Penelope, in that and I think there's even like some place in the book where she talks about this feeling of knowing who you are on the inside, but not knowing how to present that person on the outside, and like feeling like you say something and you're like, wow, that sounded much better in my head. And that just really encapsulated how I felt through high school.
Right.
And granted, Penelope's older, but I pulled from that. And I think a lot of people really related to that, because I think we've all been through parts of our lives where we're just like, okay, this is who I really am. And yet every time I open my mouth, I don't sound like that person.
Right.
And so that time I did purposely bring it in. And then with Eloise, somebody who interrupts everybody, that's also me. So I'm a mix.
Do you have any plans to break out of historical romance? Maybe go into a supernatural fantasy thriller?
I don't think so. I have something pretty cool planned that I'll be announcing later this year.
Very exciting, can't wait.
Yes, it will be but still historical romance. But
Okay.
Vampires and historical?
No. I just the whole biting thing. It's not for me.
I love
it's
it.
not for me. Sorry.
I love it.
How have you changed as a writer over all this time?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I hope I've just gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting because like writing, there's like this whole macro level of it, which is story and characterization. And then there's this micro level of it, which is, can you write a damn sentence?
Yeah.
And it's really kind of horrifying how many people can't.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of times people say, well, did you study writing? And I'll say, no, I didn't study writing in college or anything, but I wrote a lot of papers. And when you write a lot of papers, you have to learn how to write a sentence, and then how to write a sentence that follows it, that is not the same structure as the previous sentence. Because if all your sentences have the same structure, people are going to feel like they're reading a nursery rhyme. And so there's, I don't know. I think hopefully I've just got better at both.
We were big dress up people. Did you play dress up with your sisters? Like, is that where the world started?
We had a lot of paper dolls.
Okay.
More that than dress up. And we would take the paper dolls, and like, I can remember being at my grandparents' house, also in Connecticut, and they had a big TV. And this is like the old TV where it's like a little bit rounded, you know?
Oh,
and
yeah.
You could actually put your paper doll and kind of tuck it into where the casing was, and then
Okay.
it would stand up and it would look like they were in a show. And I'm pretty sure we lost some paper dolls into the side of the TV.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So if I don't know if they ever caught on fire or anything,
Uh-oh.
but like we would do that. And we had, did you have color forms? Were those still around?
Color
Color
forms.
forms.
What is that?
No, those must have disappeared. They were probably toxic. They were probably, they were, anyway, Holly Hobby color form. So we would do all kinds of dress up things. And then the other thing I remember is my sister and I had a Barbie catalog,
Oh, cool.
which was actually more fun than actually having Barbies.
Yeah.
And a lot cheaper. So
It's like the shopping catalog for Barbie?
it was like this huge catalog with like everything Barbie. I don't even know where we got it, but like you could look at all the expensive Barbie items because we didn't have enough money to buy stuff like that. And so it'd be like, oh, we have, the Barbie townhouse with the elevator, and there's her dream house. And so we kind of like imagination set up all the Barbies we didn't have, but based off the catalog.
Okay, well, that got the brain going. Yeah, absolutely.
It did.
Then, so what then drew you to the Regency era?
I just really liked to read the books. I somehow fell into the books that were set in that time period, and it just kind of made sense that when I started to write that I just tried that.
Yeah. And that became your fixation. You just sort of learned more and more and more.
Yeah. And
Won game shows off of it and that kind of thing.
yes, I did. I got all my history correct when I was on that game show. Yes, is this where I get to say I was not the weakest link?
Yesterday.
Tell us.
I was not the weakest link.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was awesome. And I also had to keep that a secret.
Oh.
That was a busy 1 or 2 years for you.
Okay, that was a long time before. And so what happened with that was I filmed it in September, and it was supposed to air in like just October or something. And you sign a piece of paper that says if you give up the result, that I might have to pay NBC $1 million.
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm thinking to myself, this isn't Survivor, right?
No,
Nobody
cares. Like, they care, but like, come on.
No, nobody cares. But anyway, I kept it a secret. I'm like, it's not fine. And you also don't get paid till it airs.
Oh my God.
Okay, so these two things are happening. And then I have an air date like a month later, and then we get bumped for Super Croc.
Okay.
And what is Super
Gotta
Croc?
keep waiting.
Exactly what it sounds like. It's National Geographic about like,
Oh my God.
like killer crocodiles.
You got bumped for Super
They're
Croc.
like, the people need to know about Super Crocs.
Yeah, I got bumped for, it wasn't even Shark Week. I got bumped for Super Croc. And my husband's all, well, if you're going to get bumped for something, I mean, at least it's Super Croc. Right? And then I was like, okay, so I'll be like the next week. And then we invaded Afghanistan.
No.
Yes. Then we invaded Afghanistan. And okay, like people, I'm making everybody laugh. So, yeah, I mean, it's not funny that we invaded Afghanistan, but it is funny that like I didn't get paid because we invaded Afghanistan. And so they weren't running the show. And then they started doing all of like the celebrity versions of Weakest Link.
Oh my God.
I was not a celebrity. I was a regular person. And it kept going and going and going. I'm not getting paid. And then because on the show, she actually let me say what my pen name was and what my book was. It was actually An Offer from a Gentleman was the latest one. And all of a sudden somebody posts something online saying, oh my gosh, good job. I saw you on TV. And I'm thinking, I wasn't on TV. And what happened was it aired in the UK and they didn't tell me. And so I immediately notified NBC saying, I need you to know that people are saying something online because like I have some profile online and I did not leak this because I do not want to pay $1 million. Yeah. And I was just trying to cover myself not to pay $1 million. And they just wrote back and said, okay, we'll release your check right now. I was like, really? God. I get paid now?
Oh my gosh. But I also bet there was something in your contract that was, if they decided to never air it, would you just have never gotten paid anything?
No, I think eventually you get something. And eventually it never did air on network television. I'm just endlessly in the reruns on the Game Show Network.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I think like every 13 weeks, you come up and you see me win on The Weakest Link. $99,000.
Nice.
Wow. God. Did I hear you went to med school?
I did, but only for a few months.
Oh, okay.
But long enough to dissect a human backside.
Whoa.
Which looks disturbingly like a piece of brisket.
What?
I don't doubt it. Scary.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny because before you start, it's called gross anatomy, and that's when you dissect a human body. And beforehand, everyone's sitting like going like, oh my God, this is going to be so disgusting. I'm not going to be able to eat after this. And no, afterwards, because you've been standing for 3 hours, like slicing into things. And you're like, I am famished. And everybody's going to be like, get me a burrito when you're done with this. And then the other thing is everybody's going like, I would be such a bad cadaver.
Nope.
Well, because you're just like, I mean, I'm like, it would take them so long. Like, you're just like, right here, this would be really tough. Or like, somebody's like, I've only got one kidney. Yeah. And, we're just going like, yeah.
Over your burritos.
And then we were so bad. My group was like, I think she was shot. We were convinced our person had been shot. No, it was like the hole that they use, like the embalming person to drain something. Yeah, but we were all like, we called the professor.
You guys were convinced.
Medical
like,
professionals.
Excuse me, professor, I think our cadaver was shot.
What is it called when you do it to try to figure out how somebody died post-mortem? Autopsy. You were doing an autopsy in there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
No,
I don't think she was shot.
And your husband's a doctor.
He is an infectious disease specialist.
Whoa!
So we had a super fun pandemic.
He's had some fun. He's had some fun in recent years, huh?
Yeah. First we had the super fun pandemic and now we have RFK Jr.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think his head's going to explode.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Gosh. Were you at med school together?
Yes. We were supposed to actually start together and I deferred for a couple years because I had gotten my first book deal. And then I panicked. And I had my mid-20s crisis, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not qualified for anything. All my friends are going to graduate school. And I mean, it just shows you how completely narrow my worldview was because I'd already had 3 books published. And isn't that like the dream?
Yeah, right.
And it says like, I need more education. What am I going to do? And so I kind of begged them to let me back in. And they did, which I cannot believe because it was literally like 3 days before school started. And they let me in. And here's the amazing thing. They never made me pay them any tuition for the 2 months I was there.
Huh.
Wow.
And so I actually did put the dean of Yale School of Medicine into one of my books. I just named the character after him. Yeah, he's in there.
That's
nice of you. Can you tell us a little about your love story?
My love story. I met my husband ridiculously young.
Oh.
I was only 18. It was my second day of college, second day of freshman week.
Wow.
He was a junior. I had gone on the freshman outdoor program, the hiking thing, and my FOP leader was his roommate, and they came over and sat with us in the freshman dining hall, and and then I ran into him a couple days later on campus, and he said, oh, a bunch of us are going to Jeremy's grandfather's house. Well, you want to come? And I'm thinking, no. It's like, I think it's freshman week. I think I should stay.
Be living my life.
Yeah. I'm like, and then, I thought I went so long before we started dating, but like it was the end of October my freshman year. And I always tell my kids, you know, if I could write my own story, I would have been older when I met him. Because I think that there are things I missed out on. But I did not miss out on enough to like throw him back and say, you know, let's not do this. And honestly, it's a miracle, really, because neither of us came from families with, you know, intact. His parents divorced when he was 6, mine when I was 5. So neither of us knew what we were doing. And like somehow we grew up alongside each other and did not grow apart. But I think that's in large part because we each have our own identities. So we are not dependent on each other. It's not a you complete me thing. It's a I am better with you, but I am still my own person on my own.
Wow. But the other authors that we've had on this show are all very happily married and like very supportive, wonderful relationships. And I'm like, so I can't write a romance book until then? What the hell?
No, you can. You can. You absolutely can. You can. And I just like shout out to my husband because he's really amazing. So he's an infectious disease doctor. He's climbed Mount Everest.
Oh my gosh, no way.
He has twice.
That makes me
I don't know why.
Well, he didn't get to the top the first time because he was there the year of the earthquake.
Oh.
And so he was at Camp 2 during the earthquake and had to be like helicoptered off. What? I know. Yeah. That was like
spooky.
Super fun on my end.
Yeah, right.
So he's climbed Mount Everest and he is like the most supportive, great guy there is and just a wonderful husband and father and has never minded that I make more money than he does.
God, that's hot.
It is.
Like, especially because he's a doctor,
yeah,
too.
like 4 years of med school, 4 years of residency. He's like, hey.
Well, that's the thing is like by then he was like so far behind because you're making negative money in med school.
Yeah.
And then in residency, you're making so little. I mean, I think we worked out one time that he was making like $8 an hour as a medical resident. And that was only if he was only working 80-hour weeks.
Wow.
Which he was usually working more than 80 hours a week. I mean, it was...
And you were at home writing?
And I was at home writing.
With some tea next to you?
Yeah, I was like, yeah. So, I mean, I definitely made the right decision leaving medicine.
Between work, life, and everything in between, finding time to move can sometimes feel impossible.
But now you can crush that impossible feeling with the brand new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus powered by Peloton IQ.
Peloton helps you achieve more in less time. It's not just any treadmill. It's Peloton's most elevated equipment with real-time guidance and endless ways to move.
It's cross-training reimagined to help you achieve peak performance while staying motivated.
Peloton IQ provides intelligent strength coaching with goal setting, weight suggestions, and a movement tracking camera that counts your reps and helps you correct your form in real time. So you can train safer, lift smarter, and make every rep count. My favorite part? The swivel screen. I can go from a 45-minute run to a 5-minute off-tread stretch with one smooth spin.
Peloton IQ can also build a weekly workout roadmap with recommended classes that match your mood and personality on any given day.
So let yourself run, lift, sculpt, push, and go.
I am ready to run, lift, sculpt, push, and go. And I hope you are too. So explore the new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com. One thing about Bridgerton, how did you feel when Julia Andrews, you learned, was going to be voicing?
Oh my gosh.
When did you hear that? Did they let you know beforehand or did you hear it?
Oh no, I knew it before you did. But I stopped breathing for long enough that I legitimately should be dead. Yeah. And for some reason, and are we allowed to get political?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, good. Okay.
Absolutely.
So for some reason, my husband was home when this happened, and I can picture it. He was just like reading on the bed or something. He's like, and he's like, what happened? What happened? What happened? And he's like, did he die? Did Trump die? Because it was the only thing he could think of that would make me that happy.
You were like, oh,
You're like,
No, I'm like, no, Julia.
Yeah.
second best.
I know. And he knows nothing about like pop culture or anything, but he knows Julia.
Oh,
Like,
right.
Yeah. So he was like, that's pretty cool.
No husband of yours would not know.
You'd be surprised what he doesn't
Really?
know. Yeah, he's pretty out of the loop. And then every now and then he'll pull up some crazy reference. Like I was watching The Umbrella Academy with my daughter, and out of nowhere he's like, "Is that Mary J. Blige?" And I was like,
Wow.
well, okay, the two of us were just like,
Huh?
who are you? I mean, he knows nothing about pop culture. I have no idea where he got that. And he was right.
They did some other changes to it where, like, in the first one, is there a diamond of the season?
No,
Not in
that-
the first one.
yeah.
That's new.
No, I mean, that is an expression that existed, and I'm sure it's in one of my books or in several of my books, but it was not a big thing like it is in Bridgerton.
Okay, right.
So that they ran with. In the books, Daphne was not like Miss Popular.
Yeah.
That's what she'd been in the season for had 2 non-successful seasons, right? or something?
Exactly. And her big thing was like, everybody sees me as one of the guys because I have these 3 brothers, and they're like, oh, you know how to talk to us. Like, you're not scary.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I'm not interested in you if you don't scare me. So that was kind of her thing going on. But then the rest of what they did was true to the book, the whole fake dating thing and that kind of stuff. So I think they do a pretty good job of like, you can't get everything in there.
Yeah. What's been the reception to the second part of the newest season been like?
Oh, people are loving it. It's been great. I mean, the first part ending on Benedict's offer, because the book is called An Offer from a Gentleman.
Yes.
We thought about calling it Sophie's Chase.
Oh.
We decided not to. That we're like, no, we'll go with The Offer from a Gentleman. People were just like, at that one, like, what are you doing? And then also, I have to say, in the books, 2 years goes by before he sees her again.
Ooh.
That's important because everyone's like, hello, how can you not tell it's the same person?
Yeah.
So in the book, 2 years have gone by. And remember, they don't have phones. He doesn't have like a, can't look at her picture and everything. So it is a bit more believable. But some of the memes I've seen, they're like, Benedict, there are literally 3 women of East Asian descent for you to look at.
Yeah.
So
please put 2 and 2 together.
I felt like I had to like let all my friends. I was like, guys, it was 2 years actually in between. So like she would have aged, and I think her hair was different. So guys,
she was on the front lines. Don't worry.
I was on the front lines.
I appreciate you. Yeah. And then also my favorite like tweet or thread or whatever I saw about it, somebody said, anybody who doubts this has never had a male Instacart shopper.
Has never had their dad look for ketchup in the fridge.
Yes.
Totally.
Yeah.
Or had your dad
great
see
point.
your oldest childhood friend in front of him again.
Oh, God.
Right, good point.
Yes. So, I mean, I think we have to suspend our disbelief for that one. So
Yeah.
anyway, so there's that. But I think like everybody, it's like he redeemed himself in the second one.
I haven't got to watch the second part yet.
Oh, sorry. Oh.
I'm doing it really slowly because I don't want it to end because, I need more of it at all times.
And I watched it in one day.
Okay. Well, thank you.
So there's a whole.
I mean,
Plug your ears. Alone's
we-
plugging your ears.
do we tell them that they should have a box of tissues also?
Oh no, they actually should. I was fully sobbing.
I
Yeah.
just got to that
was-
and I was...
Okay, so
not
you
a
know.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was.
Okay, keep them plugged. That was something in like the show that we know him a lot better in the show than we did in the books. And I knew, especially because they introduced him last season, keep him plugged.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, this is going to be devastating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you can stop now.
And one last thing.
exactly.
This isn't gonna. I don't think they'll spoil it.
Yeah.
Her acting was phenomenal.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, blew me away.
Yeah.
She was Sally Bowles in Cabaret in London. And I didn't get to see her as it, but I accidentally leaked the news on set. And I will share with you the photo of the moment that Florence Hunt found out. What happened was, beforehand, I was talking with Tom Verica, who's one of the directors and showrunners and everything. And he's not the showrunner, but he's up there. And I was saying, oh yeah, I'm going to see Cabaret. And he said, oh my gosh, Hannah just, signed on to do that. So when I ran into her again, I was like, oh, congratulations on being Sally Bowles. At which point everybody around was like, oh, I was like, oops.
Oh, no.
Hey, you didn't know.
Sorry.
Yeah.
If you tell me it's a secret, I'm involved. If you don't tell me it's a secret,
right.
It's for the world.
exactly. It was fine. But
Okay.
I heard she was amazing. Yeah,
It was all good.
she was amazing.
I saw a few sneaky videos from the show, and I was like, God.
Can you tell me how to find that? Because I have not been able to find
Have you
it.
ever heard of slime tutorials? That's how they like label it of
yeah,
the illegal
okay.
videos taken during Broadway or West End shows.
Okay.
So you'll just type in like Cabaret slime tutorial.
Thank you.
No way. Hack for
you.
everybody out
Something
there
like
too
that.
then.
Great, awesome.
Me as well.
Now, have you taken any on-set souvenirs home?
I wish.
Oh.
I wish, because those sets are pretty cool. All I have is they cut me a scrap of fabric from one of Penelope's outfits that I use as a bookmark. The thing is, like, these sets are not going away.
Oh, that's true.
They are so strict there. I mean, if you give away anything, like the last time I visited, I wanted to post something and I said, what if I post this picture of me and I'm in front of, it's called Video Village, because you can't actually be where the actors are to watch them. They're just looking at monitors, and I like blur everything out and they're like, no. And like, there's signs all over the place saying like, what will happen to you if you leak anything. And like, there is like a statue. It's like, I have turned to stone because I have leaked stuff. So yeah, you can't leak anything. You can't steal anything.
God. That's a good point. It's ongoing. You can't do that.
Yeah.
I worked on Dickinson on Apple TV Plus, and I got like there was an opera episode, and I got the poster that was made for the opera, and it's hanging in my room back home in Vermont. It's a fun little souvenir. So
I would love that.
So start stealing. When
I would like
things
to
start.
try.
Ask for forgiveness, not permission.
Yeah.
I've been learning that. But the things that would be cool to steal out of there do not fit in my handbag. That's part of it.
Right.
But one of the funniest things is actually they have, and I don't know if they still have this. This was from season one, I think. You know, a beautiful picture in a frame like the one you have there, and it is just green screen.
Right.
I have a photo of that too. It's like the funniest thing.
Yeah.
And so they do green screen some of them, not all of them.
Okay.
And when I was watching the first season, and I get early like rough cuts, so it's not final, so like maybe it's not the final music. You'll see things like on the bottom it's like delete airplane, and you look up and there's an airplane going by. And so there's this one scene when Simon and Lady Danbury are looking at a portrait of Simon's mother, and they're like, she was so beautiful. And it was just some old white dude. And my husband and son were absolutely convinced they were going to forget about that. I was like, they are not going to leave the old white dude in the portrait. And like, no, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And when we were watching the final thing, and it was really sweet. It was during COVID, so my whole family was home. And we had like, they made tea and we had scones and all this stuff. And they're like, wait, the two of them, because my daughter hadn't seen it yet. They're like, wait for it. I was like,
hello.
thank you. They're professionals. So.
They're professionals.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
We
that.
actually went to Lady Danbury's house in Bath.
The exterior.
Did you go to Bath?
I have been to Bath. So they don't film there anymore.
Oh.
Because they discovered that it was actually cheaper to just rebuild Bath on a soundstage.
Right.
Of course.
Yep. And so, but I did go during season 1 when they were filming in Bath. And I also took a gap year between high school and college. And I went to school in Gloucestershire.
Oh, get out.
And Bath is where we went when they would sort of let us loose on the weekends. Because it was like the last year of the equivalent of high school. So you're still somewhat, you're not free to do whatever you want. And so I can remember going to Bath with my girlfriends. And all they wanted to do was go to McDonald's.
Oh, what?
It was driving me crazy because this is the first time I've ever left the country, right?
Yeah.
We didn't travel when I was a kid. And I was like, I don't want to go to McDonald's. They're like, don't you want McDonald's? Don't you want a Big Mac? I was like, I've never even eaten a Big Mac.
Yeah, right.
Which horrified them. So they made me get a Big Mac. So to this day, the only Big Mac I have ever eaten, because I'm more of just like a cheeseburger girl, was in Bath.
Oh my gosh.
And not even an American McDonald's.
Yeah, so it probably wasn't even a good Big Mac.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
Interesting. No, we went, so they don't, so that's interesting. It's all in sound stages now.
It is.
Because we went to, we also went outside the Featherington house, like the exterior they use for that as well. Yeah.
I don't even know where that one is.
That one's over by one of the big arch.
In Bath, but like up a little bit.
It's in a different part of Bath.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because the exterior of the Bridgerton house is in Greenwich.
Oh, okay.
Where the Prime Meridian is.
Mm-hmm.
Is that still England? Or is that
That's still
Connecticut?
England.
Okay, I thought it was Connecticut.
Spelled the same way. No.
I was like, it was in Connecticut, man. Everything goes back to Connecticut.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no. So, no, Greenwich is a part, like, right outside London, and it is where the Prime Meridian is, which is 0 degrees longitude. It's a fun place you can go, and you can, like, put one foot in the Eastern Hemisphere and one foot in the Western Hemisphere.
I love that.
Very cool.
Alona's convinced her husband's over there.
I have a pull towards England like no other. And we looked up my star lines. One goes right through England.
Her astrocartography.
So we were in
something goes right
Heathrow
through.
recently, and I was like, God, he's here. I can feel it. So that might not be true. I was in England for like 3 months last year, 4 months
I know that
last
some
year.
of those Bridgerton bros are still single.
Are they now? You can help us out or what?
I can't do much. Plus, I think Jonathan Bailey's not going to work for you.
Right, that might be a tough one.
That'll be tough.
Which is too bad. But it was really funny when we knew he was going to be the lead, and he was already out and everything. And I remember saying, like, it's not like, what's the big deal? It's like I have just as much chance with Regé Jean Page as I do with Jonathan Bailey, right? It doesn't really matter that one's straight, one's gay. It's like neither one is going to go for
Right.
me. So.
Did he bring anything to the character that surprised you, to Anthony?
Sideburns.
Oh, yeah.
He brought the sideburns. Well, I think it's just amazing acting because he actually was asked once which Bridgerton is he, and he said he's a Gregory because he's the youngest, and he has such golden retriever energy in real life. He is delightful.
I believe it.
Really nice.
I believe it.
All right, well, let's get into Try Hard. You visited Bath. Did you watch any rugby when you were there?
No.
Okay, that's a missed opportunity.
I know.
Next time.
Okay, I was very young.
All right, well, there's hot rugby men.
Okay, excellent.
But in rugby, a touchdown is called a try.
Okay.
So what we're going to have you do is just try as hard as you can to answer these questions as quickly as possible.
Okay. Oh boy.
And
Okay.
they're simple.
See, this is bringing back all my like insecurities about sports. I'm not.
Oh gosh, we don't need to do that. This is a safe
that's
space.
all right.
Next, we're picking teams.
Yeah.
And
Seriously, when I was in elementary school, you'd go and you'd see like your homeroom list, and the first thing I'd do would be look and be like, are there girls in my homeroom who are worse at sports than I am?
Oh,
so I won't be the last one picked.
Gosh.
Like, this is still scarring.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I was always like first.
I know.
Right.
Okay.
We're gonna have a dodgeball
Tone that
game out
down.
there. Don't even worry.
I have video for you of me like hurling stuff at my mother just yesterday when we were working out.
Perfect.
She's got the reflexes of a cat, man.
Oh.
She's like, pff, pff, pff. Okay.
Well, she's working out. She's doing kettlebells with you guys.
She is.
Hello?
She is. My mom is.
Yeah.
She's only 4'9.5" now, but
Oh my goodness.
we call her fun sized.
Fun size.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Pockets.
All right.
All right. Okay, here we go.
Okay,
I'm
here
going
we
to
go.
try hard.
Here we go. So you are very good at history and literature. How are you at math and science?
Actually, pretty good.
Of course you are.
Med
Med
school.
school.
Sorry.
Med school.
She's good at everything.
No, I can't turn a cartwheel.
Oh, you can't?
I've never been
actually
able to turn a
can't
cartwheel.
either. I also don't somersault. I'm scared of it.
I'm very not spatial. Like, I'm not good at spatial things. Yeah.
Interesting.
I hear that. What's a underrated romance trope that you love?
I do like a good amnesia book from time to time.
Oh,
Intriguing.
Yeah, but I think like you're only allowed one amnesia book as an author.
Okay.
Like, or at least every like I've done it
Right.
once.
You
I
get
think
one.
You get one. Like I'd written over 20 books. I was like, I think I finally earned an amnesia book.
Right. Right. As a treat.
Amnesia.
And you don't get to do it again. Yeah.
Okay. Then on the flip side of that, is there a trope that you would like to retire forever?
I'm not a big age gap.
And I agree.
It kind of creeps me out.
Okay.
Especially we read a lot of fantasy, and I'm like, and they're 500 years old, and she's 20. There has to be
That's
a
a
line.
really big age gap.
Yeah.
Although I will say I read a book, it's coming out in June maybe, called All We Have Is Time.
Okay.
One character actually is a vampire. I don't do that many vampires. And the other one is a time traveler who keeps coming back to like she can't seem to die and he keeps coming back.
I love
Hot.
that.
Yeah. And so that one there's definitely an age gap going on there and I liked it. Okay.
No,
She
I
liked
clock
it.
in on that.
What's something that you realized super late in life?
That I have to stop trying to make everybody like me.
Good one. Are you still working on that, or do you think you've achieved it?
I think I have gotten pretty close.
Okay. Who's your weirdest crush?
Probably the guy I had a crush on in high school, but I don't know if it's weird, but like, definitely like Jon Stewart.
That's
I
not weird.
I like the, that sort of nerdy, funny guy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Good at what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart.
Love that.
Something about John Oliver. I don't know.
Oh, me too. Yes. Also John Oliver. Basically all those like funny guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
What movie have you seen the most times?
Hope and Glory,
What movie is this?
which you need to see if you have a thing about England. It is, there you go. It is not a well-known movie. It came out actually during my gap year when I was living in England, and it's about a family during World War II in England, and it's like got some of the funniest moments like ever, and it's just so well done. So you should see Hope and Glory.
Okay. Are you like a Jane Austen fan?
I am, although I think that, I think a lot of people go to her thinking like, oh, this is going to be an easy read because it's about like people and families and not like the epic white male quest.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not. They're actually hard to read. She didn't,
You really got to chew on them.
Yes, her sentence structure was not what we do today, and you got to work at it.
Do you have a favorite Jane Austen?
Probably Pride and Prejudice, like most. But I can say I have a least favorite, and that's Mansfield Park. Because I did the afterword for the Signet Classics edition of that a while back. And I remember doing it thinking like, there's no way they're paying me enough money for this. I mean, they paid you, like, it was really a pittance, but it was really hard to do. And like, so basically my whole essay is like, what does it mean to be the least popular Jane Austen novel? Which it is, really.
Yeah. Do you and your kids send each other memes?
I send way more to them than back. And then I send them memes about like the kids like rolling their eyes at the parents sending them memes. But yes.
Okay.
That's probably our mom too. She's like, the kids are gonna love this.
Yes.
Sends them like, okay, mom, yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Mom.
it's definitely that.
And what would be on your family crest?
Maybe a quill.
Oh, yeah.
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 A quill and then maybe something for your husband, like an infectious disease molecule.
Well, then we got like the snake or something.
Yeah.
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 Oh, true.
It'd be like a quill, and then the snakes would
Snake
go around
around
the
it.
quill.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He actually really wants to make this custom chess set, which is funny because neither one of us plays chess. But it was going to be like the doctors versus the microbes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it'd be super cool, but we don't play chess. So
Well,
These girls were learning it on Duolingo.
yeah, we were
So
clocked in
they're
on
on
it.
a chess
Duolingo
journey.
does chess?
Yeah, I learned
They
how
also
to
do
play chess
math
now.
now.
It's awesome. Yeah.
I'm doing French.
Okay.
And I just hit my 1,000-day streak.
Yes.
I'm so proud of myself. Yes.
She just gave hers up.
Yep, I hit 1,000 days and I stopped. I was like,
She's
I
out
did
there.
it. I'm done.
Oh, see, I'm old enough that I'm like thinking about like brain health. I'm like,
Right.
this is like good.
Yeah.
This is keeping my brain going. So yeah.
Right.
See, mine wasn't, I think, doing anything for me because I just hack it so I could get my streak. And I was like, I'm only doing this for my streak, not really to learn a language.
Right.
What language were you doing?
Dutch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I need to figure out another way to learn Dutch, but
Dutch
Duolingo
is
just wasn't.
I love the look of Dutch because it looks so friendly because it has so many double vowels.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember, I always, when I'm at the airport, I'm always looking over people's shoulders to figure out where their passports are from.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I do that too.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh. And the Dutch one is so cute because it's like, paspoort. Paspoort.
Yeah, they love that. They love
All
it.
right. So to close out, I'm going to head us over to the book Nook. What's happening in the news regarding like adaptations? What are we reading? Things like that.
Well, I do want to say, I saw that you guys are doing Jenny Lawson for your book club.
Uh-huh.
I am such a fan.
Love her. Have you
Really?
ever met her?
No, I even once accepted a speaking thing in another country because, I mean, well, partly because she was going to be there, and then she ended up doing hers via Zoom, and I was like, I didn't get to meet
So
Jenny
there you are in
Lawson.
the other country, and she's all here. Oh, I
Yeah,
don't want
but we
to.
follow each other on like social.
Oh,
so
cool.
Maybe. And once I saw her say something like, oh, she's so cool about me. And I was like, bloggers.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I read our book club pick many, many years ago, so I don't really
Me too.
remember it. And then I read Furiously Happy, her follow-up, soon after that when it came out. But I'm
Yeah.
just like so excited to experience it again.
And then she also did another one, and I'm blanking on the name of it, where I think it delved more into like dealing with mental health because she had a whole chapter which was like a letter to insurance companies that was just, I mean, you're peeing in your pants laughing, but it's also the most heartbreaking thing you've ever read.
Right.
Yeah, she's amazing. So
She is so cool.
So
Yeah.
great taste.
So that's what we're reading. What
I'm
are
joining your book club.
Please,
Perfect.
clock in. Are you reading anything though currently?
Yeah, I'm always reading something. One of the nicest things about my job is that I get a lot of books ahead of time. You guys know about NetGalley?
No.
What
What is this? What is this?
Neck galley?
No, see, NetGalley.
Net galley.
Yes.
I'm far away.
It's a publishing insider thing, and basically you can request early copies of books.
Okay.
Get on that, team. Net galley.
Tell Allie Hazelwood.
I am fairly convinced that you guys would be approved for most things. I occasionally don't get approved for something, and I'm like, oh, really? Okay.
What the hell?
And then, like, sometimes it's a romance. Like, I have been declined for like 3 Christina Lauren books.
Huh?
Dang.
Yeah.
They're keeping you humble.
Christina, are you Christina and
Christina.
Lauren? So it's 2 people actually. I'm like, are you guys listening? Like, your publisher keeps rejecting me.
Yeah, hello?
But I recommend a lot of books online.
Okay.
So that's why, and I think people know that. And usually I go out on the Today Show and recommend books whenever there's a new season. I would do that like every other month if they would let me.
Yeah, right.
But, I get to read lots of books and
Cool.
it's nice.
Is there anything you recommend that will be coming out soon enough that you can talk about?
Yeah. So there was the one I told you about.
Mm-hmm.
All We Have Is Time. One of the books I recommended on the Today Show, which I really loved, was How to Commit a Postcolonial Murder.
Oh.
Interesting.
That was my reaction. I was like, what could this be about?
Yeah.
It is really hard to describe it, but it's set in the 1980s. This girl, she's half Indian and like Indian, not a Native American, and half white, living in Wyoming,
Okay.
where like Indian usually means something else. And this is not going to spoil anything, but her family from India come to stay with them, and her uncle is abusing her and her sister, and they decide they're going to kill him.
Oh.
And it's another one of those ones that's just like heartbreaking, but also funny in parts. And the author's really neat because she breaks the fourth wall a lot.
Interesting.
And that was a really good one. And then in terms of just romances, there's a great one that's out right now by B.K. Borison called And Now Back to You.
Yes, I've been seeing this.
Which I really liked. It's a second book in a series. I like them both a lot. I think I liked And Now Back to You a little bit more.
Really? First Time Caller was the first
Yes,
one, right? Yeah.
Which I also, but I read And Now Back to You first.
Okay.
And I was not lost at all.
Okay.
So you can do that. Historical romance, there's always great stuff. And this is where I need to tell you, I have started my own historical romance book club.
JQ, right?
JQ Editions, yes. So it's a subscription box / historical romance book club. And what we're doing is we are publishing my very favorite historical romances as beautiful special editions with like the fancy edges. And we're
nice.
working with the artists so that there's a lot of Easter eggs on the covers and things like that. And it'll come out every other month. And it's on Kickstarter right now. mostly because we needed to know how many books to print.
Right.
I'm really learning as I go along on this. I've never been on the other side of publishing before.
Right.
And what's really funny is we are doing one of my books as just like a special bonus for some people. And I had to actually negotiate with my publishing house to do a special edition of my own book. You know, so I'm there being like, I am fairly certain the author will accept our terms.
I have a good feeling.
Yes,
I
think we'll be able to come to terms here. That's really fun. So if you want to get into historical romance and you don't know where to start, this is great because every book is picked by me. It is not a committee. Nobody's going through looking at being like, well, the author has to sell XYZ number of books. It's just, did I think this book was amazing? And that's how you get it.
It's not a democracy.
It's absolutely not a democracy at all.
I'm into it. I'm down.
Oh, wait, sorry. I need to say one part is a democracy because we have we have this thing called the Diamond Club, where if you join, you can vote on some of the books that we will publish. So next year, we're going to publish one of 4 books by an author named Tessa Dare, who's amazing. And we're going to let our Diamond Club members pick which one.
Okay.
I love
it. And I guess I have to ask, are you writing anything currently?
I am. My super secret project, which is coming out
That's right.
later.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll keep an eye out.
But I have been taking a lot of time off and really leaning into more philanthropy and political advocacy. I've been talking a lot about why book bans are really, really bad.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good reason to take time off, like a good use of your time off as well.
Right.
Thank you. I also talk about some other things, but at least with the book ban, nobody can say stay in your own lane.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because I get that a lot
That's
when I
your
talk
lane.
about other stuff.
Right. Do they ever do, they do it to me. You're an athlete. Why do you talk about politics? I'm paying taxes.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot more than you motherfuckers.
And the
paying.
very
Yeah,
fact is,
or
So
like,
I'm going to talk about
should
you.
I have a uterus?
Yeah, right.
hello.
Everything is political. You wouldn't have been able to play rugby if not for politics.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
it all comes back to
You
politics.
couldn't even write a book under your name, probably.
Yeah, or
back in the day.
like I'm sure you've seen that picture of the first woman to run the Boston Marathon.
Oh,
Those people
classic
pushing her out of the way.
picture. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Iconic.
Everything
know.
running's political.
Wearing pants. Like,
Political. Using our own money. Political. Insane.
Yeah, no, my mother-in-law told me that she, in order to open up a credit card, her first credit card, they had to get permission from her ex-husband.
Huh?
So this was like in the mid-70s. I couldn't believe that.
it is crazy. I think
God.
It's not that long ago.
we are so unaware of like how close everything is.
Yeah.
You know, to us.
Yeah, well, this way it drives me crazy. All these women's like, I'm not a feminist. I like to do this and this and this. I'm like, yeah, you get to do this and this and this because of feminists.
Because of feminism.
Mm-hmm.
Hello,
You're kind
people.
of an OG one, too, in the writing space.
I love
Thank
it.
you. I appreciate that.
Well, we want to do really quick one of our favorite things, which is called the chore wheel. You are
Don't look.
Don't
Jules,
look.
come on.
Please. Sorry, I didn't
Oh my
know.
gosh, I
Gosh,
spoil
we
it.
told you.
Okay, so one last thing before you go. You are now part of this family, so you
Yay.
got to help out around the house.
Okay.
Please choose a chore, and you'll be given a corresponding challenge. So laundry, dishes, vacuuming, or sweeping.
Definitely not the dishes. I hate the dishes.
Okay.
I'll go with vacuuming.
Fuck, marry, kill. Colin Bridgerton, Anthony Bridgerton, or Benedict Bridgerton.
No! Can I pick a different chore? No, because like I wrote them. They're like my son.
Maybe like slightly, okay.
All right, go with laundry. No, I can't do that. Those are like my kids. I cannot do that.
No, I figured that might be the case, but we
Okay.
still have to ask
Let's
it.
all pick one who we would marry.
Yeah, you guys pick it.
I feel like it's
I'd probably do
Anthony.
It's gonna be Anthony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony.
Love him.
On this side of the room is gonna be Anthony.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Well-
So how about, what is your favorite super spicy novel?
I'm thinking more author than novel, but
Okay.
Allie Hazelwood.
Okay.
Same.
She writes a spicy novel.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love him.
We have meat
And-
right here.
I love
Yeah,
him.
I was just at Emerald City Comic Con and somebody came dressed as Olive from Love,
Oh, get out.
Oh.
the Love Hypothesis.
I know which one. I don't remember. Is
Yeah.
it Love Hypothesis?
Yeah, and so she's wearing like a Stanford shirt and has her lab coat on, and she said it was the only fake ID she'd ever made. And and I took pictures of her. I'm like, I'm gonna text this to Allie Hazelwood right now because I have her number. And she was like, oh my god! And then Allie responded, and she took like a picture. The thing was really sweet. It was really sweet.
I love it.
So yeah, she writes a spicy book, and I like it.
She writes
Yeah.
a mean, spicy book. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming over, Julia. Grab your copy of An Offer from a Gentleman wherever you get your books, dear gentle readers.
Thank you so much for coming over to the House of Maher, a Wave original.
Be sure to watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Plus, follow the show on social media at House of Maher for clips and behind-the-scenes content. We'll see you next time. Thank you
so much for coming over.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have some reading to do. You have some writing to do.
You have some writing to do.
Get in
Get busy.
there.
I do.